Can you hear me? I see your mic's off.
Yes, I just unmuted you and unmuted me, so we are good.
All right, I'm super excited. We're running obviously a little bit behind, but you know what? Probably so is everybody else. And it's a live stream. That's just what we do. I'm kind of excited about today. So I'm going to be talking about Sales 101. Doesn't that sound fun?
Woohoo!
All right,
How's
so
that coffee?
I know, right? Yeah, yeah, always be selling, right? No, not really. Yeah, am I slurping my coffee? We'll edit that out, right? So I'm going to Chris and I have been kind of going back and forth on our cram sessions, and starting next week, we're going to be just doing straight up Q&A. So, Crystal, I just want to make sure you've got all the stuff open for Q&A. If somebody does message that, if it is on the comment, I'll show it as well if somebody has a question. Before I jump into today's cram session, everybody knows we're talking about Sales 101. Crystal and I have been kind of talking about just doing straight up Q&A, and I think that's what we're going to do next week. We're just going to do get online. We'll hop online for about 15 minutes. If you guys have questions, we'll go the full hour. And then what's really fun is Crystal's been uh, deep diving into high level support, and Crystal's been learning some really cool stuff that I didn't even know. So,
Yep.
right? Like, what's in development, what issues they're having, right? If it's a bug, if it's not a bug. I think Crystal, you're becoming the pro along with
Well,
everybody else.
what I will say is every day is a new day, and sometimes it's full of like excitement and success, and other times it can be some challenges. But it's been great being able to be in consistent communication with high level as we're navigating through some of these areas.
Exactly. And it's fun, we got our beta versions and then we got our real versions. So I think, going through a Q&A, I think it's going to be really fun, kind of making it more the office hour approach on Wednesdays, because we're building a lot of content. What I'm going to go through today is actually in our new, or will be loaded into our new sales accelerator. So we have a sales and we have a marketing that we're going to cover in that course. I'm just going to try to give you as quick as I can rundown. I'm going to go through the slides that we use in the training and just give you some good tips and tricks, I think, right, for sales. My biggest thing, I think I want to make sure that everybody understands, is that what I'm going to talk about today is not how to make 10K a month. All right. I don't care about all that stuff, right? Money is going to happen. And one of the stories that happened to me was there was a rut time. Oh gosh, I was in a sales job and I was at like 68K and I was trying to get to 100K, really 84K, so I could make my $1 million for the year. And there was a month time span, a few months where I wasn't making the money. All right. I wasn't closing the sell. It was like everything was just, not working in my favor. And so I would sit down and I kept writing out my numbers like, okay, I need 20,000 more. This is what I have to sell. And I was breaking down like all the way down to the products I should sell. And I had spent this whole time focused on what my numbers were, what my sales goal were. And I really lost sight of the whole selling process. I lost sight of what I should be doing to make the sales. So, what I want to cover in our Sales 101 is what you should be doing for your business, or whether you're selling for your business, you're selling for you, or you got a sales team. It always starts at the top, right, Crystal? Like we both have worked in sales for a long time. And
100%.
and it always starts at the top. So whether you're selling your business, you are the CEO of your business and you have a sales team, or you are the only one selling your business and you're the person that everybody talks to, this is for you. And I want to get down to basics, nitty-gritty stuff. So let me go ahead and I'm going to share my screen here. That might be good so people don't have to. And I'm going to show you the raw everything because, this is cram session. when I got a million windows up and all this good stuff. So obviously I did my presentation in Canva. So I'm going to try to go through this a little quick, but as long as you guys know, hey, look, I'm not going to give you some massive crazy secret, but I am going to give you a really cool secret. And the first thing I want to say is I see a lot of sales gurus do this, right? Coaching and business consultants do this. And they always say, like, why should why should we listen to you, Kathy? Why do you know anything about sales? And I'm not going to spend 5 million slides telling you about my entire sales career. I think, Crystal, you've sold a lot. I've sold a lot. I'll tell you what, there was a time in my life where it was like every 2 years I was selling something different. I was selling crazy things, but I'd be second year in the job. I'd be like, you know what? Don't believe in it, don't want to sell it, right? And I'm out. And when you don't believe in something, it's kind of hard to sell if you don't have passion for it. So if you look at my resume, there's like this year span where it's like every 2 years, and then people interview is like, well, why are you only staying there for 2 years? Well, I didn't like the boss, or I didn't like what I was selling, I didn't believe in it, things like that. And so it's really kind of fun when you think about sales. And really, I have a resume. I've sold anywhere, I've made anywhere from a million to 25 million in sales a month, selling high ticket and low ticket items. So my resume goes crazy. Go look at it on LinkedIn. What I want to share with you, like, yeah, seriously. And, it's not all about me. This isn't about me. This is about me giving you those sales techniques that helped me grow and make the money that I needed to make, whether it was for me or for my customers or whatever it was during the last 35 years of sales. And that's really my passion. So I'm going to teach you and I'm going to give you these concepts, and you guys take it for what it's worth. But I will tell you this, and I will promise you this, that if you go back to the basics and you do what I'm telling you in this presentation that I'm about to show you and inside the course, you will make money. You will grow your business and you will grow your sales, and you'll even have a clear marketing. You $100 million offers, right? Your $1 million offers, all the stuff that you guys are doing in your marketing will make more sense too if you just start with the basics. So I'm going to do a real quick run through. Like I said, the sales course has 5 lessons: introduction to sales and its principles, building a sales mindset, sales prep and research. I'm going to give you my 5 W's of selling based on my mentors and what I've learned and what I've done, effective sales techniques, and we're going to talk about relationship building and closing sales. The first thing I want to talk to you guys about is, you guys know the big guys. We're talking about digital media marketing, all of your influencers, all of your marketers. These are all great guys. I learned a lot from all these. And in fact, Alex Hermosi, I just got 100 million leads and $100 million offers. I just read all of it. It's like no brainer, all stuff we've been doing for years. Neil Patel, great when you guys are talking about ads and Google ads and SEO. Gary Vee, who doesn't love Gary Vee? You either love him or you hate him, right, Crystal? Ryan, I think it's Ryan Dice. I love his stuff, and I think a lot of people do on the more professional side, higher ticket side. Grant Cardone, higher ticket side. Y'all know Russell Bronson. These are all your digital media guys, and they're all teaching you their concepts, just like I'm teaching my 3S sales and marketing system. We all have it. But I want to take you to the original sales gurus. And this is where I started. And I went to the original sales guru, all the digital media marketing, all of your motivational speakers, all of your sales gurus, they all had their model, their person that they learned from. Because if you look and listen to every single person's sales pitch or what they're teaching you, it all comes back to the original, right? The 100% original best product. These are my people: Zig Ziglar, Jim Rohn, Les Brown, Brian Tracy, and Jeffrey Gadamer. These are the guys that I learned, and these new guys in the digital media marketing have taken a lot of concepts from the old guys. And so it's been kind of fun seeing how this shows in sales. But when I started, gosh, it was like, where do I learn? Where do I go? I think I read every sales book known to man. I mean, seriously, I really do. I think I read every sales book, every newsletter, anything I could get on. And I still do to this day. And I'm like, oh, that concept was taught in the 70s. There was a book called Telephone Sales for the 70s. Then it went to They reproduced the book called Telephone Sales for the 80s. And then the last print was Telephone Sales for the 90s. And that whole concept was going from, instead of being door to door, that you could get on the phone and actually make more calls on the phone than you would being out in your car going door to door to door. So in those books, it's like he was teaching everybody. Well, now we've got the internet. So now it's like phone sales, internet sales, everything's like changed, right? But we need to get back to the very basic principles of selling. And that's what these guys have taught. And I know you've heard a lot of these things, but I'm going to bring it really, hopefully close to home for you guys. So let's jump into the introduction of sales, and I'll just kind of jump this in. All right. So basic principles. Sales is not just about transactions, it's about building relationships. Sales is essential to the life of your business, and it's responsible for your revenue growth. So it doesn't matter what you do, you got to have it. And then I put this on here because, Crystal, you worked in the automobile industry for a while. Um, don't be that guy, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I worked, in the marketing aspects of things, digital marketing, all of those kinds of things, directories, online sales, you name it. Been there, done that, worked for the man.
Yeah.
Now we get to work for each other.
And you have these, like, this used car salesman thing, right? And so I always tell everybody, don't be that guy. Don't learn those sales techniques. Don't do that. Or girl, he, she, they, them, want to make sure. But I want to tell you, don't be that guy in sales. Don't be the car sales guy. Don't be the guy that comes running to your car on the lot and is ready to pitch you something, right? We've all known them, and I know, Crystal, you've had a handful of them.
Yeah.
So I want to show you some really cool principles, and I broke these out, and it was really cool. I was able to make a really cool mind map, thanks ChatGPT, because I want to show you these really core principles. Zig Ziglar, if you haven't read it, Selling 101, get it. Jeffrey Gadamer's Sales Bible. I'm gonna show you some really cool principles in this. The core principles of this book is really very simple. Persistent effort, resilience in the face of obstacles, help others get what they want. We all know Zig Ziglar's, you help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you want, right? Do the right thing even when no one's watching. A strong positive self-image is critical to success. Maintain a positive attitude regardless of the circumstance. Build sincere and lasting relationships with clients. Set clear, specific, achievable goals, right? Selling 101. Let's go to, and actually, and just real quick, I just kind of want you to think about this. How do those principles align with your perception of sales? All right, just think about that. We'll get back to that. You can tell me in the comments or let me know. Jeffrey Gadamer's Sales Bible was another thing, and I just put these into principles as well. Ask questions to engage, right, and lead to understanding. Ask questions that engage and lead to understanding. Become a information. Provide exceptional service to earn referrals. Build relationships over making sales. Provide value first without expecting an immediate sell. Build a strong personal brand that attracts clients. Maintain enthusiasm as it's contagious in sales. So these two guys are basically saying the same thing. And I think I've got a really good reference guide here. Let me look. That breaks this down a little bit better. So if you look, the core principles of both of these books are all about setting goals, building relationships, and maintaining a positive attitude. And with Jeffrey, getting referrals, being a trusted advisor, right? So if you look at these, there's a lot of similarities to this. And that's what is going to help you sell. And you're like, okay, all right, Kathy. So what do you mean? How do I sell? Oh, you're going to ask questions. You're going to become a source of valuable information. Those of you utilizing high level software, you should know the software products ins and out, right? In and out, right? If you don't, I don't know how you're selling it. I don't know how you're telling people or positioning and solving problems. So the first thing we want to do is we want to take these principles and we want to make sure that you are doing these principles. It's very simple. If you follow those principles, you're going to make sales. But I'm going to take this a little bit further and let's jump into building a sales mindset. First of all, some of you guys are like, I don't want to be that guy. I'm not a salesperson. I'm afraid of sales, getting over fear of sales. I don't know, Crystal, did you ever have fear of being in sales? Were you ever like, oh God, can I make this sell at any point in your sales career? Or am I asking you and you're not muted?
Oh, there we go. Sorry, didn't realize I was muted. Yeah, I mean, like, there's always that fear factor. Anytime you're trying to initiate that cold call, it's really more about, to the key points of being comfortable and confident in what you're doing and what you're in, to your original point, is having passion for it. So if you've got passion for what you're doing, then selling is automatically natural. But for some of us it's not. But if you think about to your childhood days, when you really wanted that candy bar, what were you doing with your parents? When you really wanted that brand new car and you were trying to talk to your parents about getting that brand new car, and you're 16 years of age, think about that you've been selling all of your life.
Well, and not just to that, Crystal. What about husbands? You're selling. What do you want to have for dinner tonight? Oh, I would like Chinese when you really want Mexican. You're selling to people every day, all day.
All the time. When I get to go on vacations in Mexico, I'm constantly bargaining because I want that better deal. So it's just all about that. And when you kind of like take the fear out of selling your product and you kind of basically go back to that 101 selling experience of what you did as a child, as a young adult, growing into life, you're always selling something. Sometimes we wear masks and we're selling our personality. Sometimes, I mean, when you think about it like that and you really, really break it down, it's not that scary. You just have to be extremely excited
But
about what
did
you're
you
doing.
ever have any fears at any point in your life, or were you just like, you know what, this is what I like, this is what I don't like? I mean, were you one of those people? I don't think you were, but
I mean, there was only one time that and it was when I was 21 years of age and I really got into the world of business. I didn't even know exactly what I interviewed for. I thought it was a DJ opportunity at a radio station, and I ended up getting a job for an account executive. And I thought, wow, that's a cool title. I was very, very unpolished. They gave me an office. I had a business card, and I'm like, cool. I am important. Now what? And then I have all these people that are much older than I am, but I've always been a go-getter, but I absolutely had no clue what I was doing. So yeah, I was terrified. And that was when it was more door-to-door sales, and I had to like bring out my book and show my like ad opportunities of radio
Mhm.
sales. And then I'm also don't have anything tangible because I'm selling air. And I'm like, how do I sell air? Because it's online. Instead of online and the tangible items we have today, it was radio ads. And how do you sell that? How do you tell somebody like, hey, buy this ad on the air? I mean, I just could not get my head around it. And it took me about 6 months. But in that 6 month time period, I met a really great group of like mentors throughout, even my own personal sales, clients that I was selling to. And I just started taking, these courses. And back then you could actually go to conference calls and things, and where you can go to these meetings and that kind of thing. And from that point, in 6 months, I ended up being the number one salesperson at the radio station at the age of 21. I'm not really sure how I got there. I was wearing pigtails and a sundress because I grew up in the country. But, it was like knee high to a grasshopper. I'm like, who can I start with first? It was, you know, everybody that I could possibly think of that I knew. I went there and then I was like, hey, I got this. My pitch was completely not polished. It was like, I got something for you. I think you're going to like it. Let's go ahead and buy it. I mean, that's pretty much the extent of that. It was very nerve wracking because I didn't really know what I was doing, but you figure it out over time.
But here's what's so great about that. So I'm gonna one, if you have fears, obviously Crystal didn't have any. You got to get over the fears, and the simplest way to do that is I'm gonna give you just a couple of like ways to win and tips for selling like a pro. Crystal, we what do we call it? Winging it in sales. That's what you were doing. You were winging it,
I
and
was faking it until I made it.
and that's okay though. We've heard that all the time. But if you get rid of all that junk and you keep it really simplified, like literally don't think about sales. You can't think about sales. Let me show you. Everyone feels a little bit scared sometimes, right? So I've got this little cool little module tool thing. Think about what scares you in sales. And if it's the worry of hearing no, which is usually the number one fear, it's okay, right? It's okay. Once you get it out and they say no, what's the worst that's going to happen? They're going to say no. You're just going to bounce back stronger. So you're going to learn. You're going to be like, maybe I didn't listen well enough. Maybe I didn't grasp what they really needed.
Mhm.
If you get a no, there's usually a clear objection, and it usually comes back to you, really. So
Mhm.
all it is a learning experience.
And,
And
Kathy, to your point, is when they say no, I'm always like, when they say no, at least you know.
yeah,
That's what I always
exactly.
say. At least you know.
But even then, just remember every no is just one step closer to yes. And I remember when I first started out sales, let's go back to phone sales. Let's go to that position. We were dialing for dollars. And a lot of you guys still do this. And that's fine. Everybody has their own way of selling, whether it's face-to-face, phone selling, ads, whatever it is that you're doing. And it would be like for every 10 calls that I would make, one out of those 10 people would show an interest or buy. So it's a statistic game, right? So I had 10 times to get it right and 10 times to hear the word no before I finally got it right. And so all I'm saying is that you can get over those fears. And one of the things I'm going to tell you is like Ziegler's way to win in sales is three simple points. And I love this. Think happy, keep a positive attitude, and believe that good things will happen. It's that simple. You don't have to overthink it, right? Do the right thing. Selling isn't just about the stuff you're selling, it's about how to sell it. Be kind and honest and always keep your promises. People like buying from someone they trust, right? Like, know, and trust. How to sell? Well, yes, there's a little bit of skills involved in selling, and I'm going to give you those, but it's about how you sell it. It's about learning how to ask the questions and really listen to the answers and show what you're selling can make things better for your customer. And I love this win in sales. You do those three things: be happy, do the right thing, and know how to sell by just listening to the answers and making things better for your customer. I think it's brilliant. And these are things that when we get to the tips right here that sell like a pro, I broke this down. Listen more. The best salespeople are great listeners. Pay attention to what people are telling you. They're giving you clues about what they need and how you can help them. Never stop learning, which is great. That's why, we're always listening to these new um, digital media marketing. If you're in real estate or you're running a restaurant or you're doing a business, you should always be learning about your business, about your industry, about how you can position things better. Stay curious, keep learning about your products. Always look for new ways to be a better salesperson or a better communicator, is really what I like to say. And then, of course, you got to set your goals, right? Your SMART goals: specific, measurable. And I'm not going to get into all that, but these things will help you stay focused and motivated. And hopefully, these quick tips are going to make it just a little bit easier for you to have a positive mindset, to win in sales. And they're very simple. What is it? We're just listening to people, right? That's all we're doing, is listening to people. And let's see, do I have any questions, or are we good, or am I good to keep going?
No, just want to say hi back to Gladys. Thanks for saying hi and joining us today. We're excited to have you.
Oh, good. Uh, let's see here. There's so much I could be going over, but I'm going to try to run through this. So let's talk about sales prep and research. All right. This is important. And I'm really going to focus more on the 5 W's of selling than I am really all of this in the CRAM session today. But I want to, and like I said, I've got, what are we on? Sales prep module 3. So inside of the module, I've got the whole sales prep of everything right here. And then in module 3, there is actually a worksheet where you can fill out your 5 W's. So you'll be able to, anybody that's on this, if you just shoot us a message or an email, we'll make sure to give you that. We'll post this in the group so you can link and grab the actual tools, but these will be inside of the course as well. Sales prep and research. Okay, so let's talk about this. The importance of prep in sales. It's not just about talking, right? It's about being ready to talk smart. Imagine you're a detective. Okay. I love this analogy. And I think this is the best way to think about it. Of course, coming from me who loves crime shows, it would only be cool that I would put this in here. When you're a detective, before you solve a case, you have to gather the clues, right? So you're going out, you're doing all this research, you're gathering the clues. In sales, those clues are about knowing your stuff, like what you're selling and who you're selling to, and the bigger picture, like what's going on in the market. This detective work helps you chat confidently with customers, making them more likely to buy from you. You want to know your products and services, right? You got to know your software. You guys that are selling high level or you're selling your product or service, whatever it is, you've got to know what products and services that you're offering. You need to know those like the back of your hand, because when you know the products and services, you're just consultative. You're just saying, oh, in your mind, while you're talking to your sales prospect, they're telling you their problems and you're automatically thinking, because you know your product so well, oh, I know what product I'm going to sell them. Oh, I know what service. I know what they need. I know what problem I can solve. So the more you know about your products and services, have an in-depth of understanding of what you're selling. You not just knowing your products and service, but get to know your products and service like your best friend, right? What makes it special? Why would someone need it? And if it has any fancy features, think about how those make life better and easier for your customer. And I'm just shifting your mindset here, not selling feature function benefits, but how is it going to give them a solution, make their life better? It's like I think I put in here, it's like translating different languages into something everyone can understand and get excited about. Product knowledge does impact sales. I'll just kind of run through this. Understanding your audience. This is important. It's your buyer persona. Tailoring your approach to different customers. This is important. A lot of you guys will talk to people and you'll say the same pitch to every single person. Every person is different. That's where we go back to the building a relationship, just starting asking the questions. Every person has a different project. Let's look at high level. We got 25 plus features inside the software. 25. Not every single customer is going to use 25 features. And I will tell you, you guys that are turning off features and not making them available because they only bought this program, you are missing the boat. Have every feature open and available. You're afraid because somebody's going to ask you about that feature that you don't know anything about. We got you covered. We got the SaaS Accelerator. We've got the Knowledge Center. We got all the videos to show them that feature, right, Crystal? I mean, we've got that.
Absolutely.
And so they'll find that and you'll learn that. But by you closing that gap and saying you can't have access to these features because it's not included in my problem, or in my product or my services, man, you're missing the boat, because that day somebody might have said, you know what? I'm thinking about creating a community, or I'm thinking about creating an affiliate program, or I'm thinking about building an online course that I want to sell. And you've got all those features turned off and you're missing the boat because they just went up and signed up with Thinkific, Kajabi, because they didn't see that you have that feature. Big, big mistake. So keep those features open, right? Let them ask you the questions. They're going to look. You're not giving them, you're not selling them all the features. You're just making them available. So hopefully that makes a little bit more
It
sense.
does, because, if you're trying to, like, even if they are focused on like maybe like 6 to 8 out of the 25, and then as their business grows or their platform changes and they want access to these other things and they don't even know that they're available to them. I mean, that is like an instant losing that customer. The retention starts to drop, and that's not good for business. But when they see that you're providing value and the problem solving to whatever their pain is, that is the goal. Like if you're helping somebody out grow in their business and you're providing them the tools that they can do that with, that puts you ahead of the curve. than what somebody else is doing that's only offering them, oh, here's just half of it because that's all that I have time for you today for, because you're only paying this amount of money. Then they want to leave because they're not feeling appreciated.
Right. And we don't want to sell them all 25 features. No, that's
Right.
not how we're going to build the relationship. We're going to find out what their
Mm-hmm.
problems are. But guess what? When you hear me talking about 3S sell, service, and support, right? We're selling to the
Yep.
customer, we get them, but the service and the support goes even further, that they trust you, they know and like and trust you. If they see another software app or something that they're looking at, they're going to call you and say, you know what, hey Crystal, I'm looking at this Kajabi thing. I'm thinking about doing courses. What do you think? Oh, you don't need to buy anything. I have a solution. Now you just added value. You're their BFF again, and you're the person they trust. And guess what? You have the solution. If you don't have the solution, know enough about your business and your industry to provide them with a solution, and they will always come back to you. That's that building that relationship. And you've got to understand, you got to make sure that you have your audience, and you got to make sure that you've also done the research. And that's where I'm going to just jump really quick into the 5 W's. And I've got a worksheet here, and I recommend grab a cup of coffee, go somewhere. They always tell you to do this in digital media marketing. Go create your value, offer, your compelling offer statement. Before you even do that, stop. I need you to know your W's, your 5 W's of why in the world your business, why in the world you're in business. Who are you selling to? What are you selling? Where are you selling it? Why are you selling it? Or when are you selling it? And why are you selling it? If you cannot answer these questions, right, then we got a problem. We got a problem. You have no vision. You have nothing going on to what you're selling and what you're doing. So creating your marketing plan, your marketing proposition, your elevator pitch, whatever it is, you got nothing. You've got to start with these questions. And like I said, I've got this really cool sheet you can download. I want you to think about it. I've got this in Canva. I got a PDF here. We'll share it in the group. But it's going to give you the breakdown of who are you selling to, all that good stuff. So I'm going to let you guys go through it. But the bottom line is you need to know all the answers to the questions. But the most important thing is the why.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you selling? And we can go through all these all day long, and we do that in the course. But let me open this up here real quick. Go back to my thing. It's all about passion and purpose. Bottom line.
Yeah,
If
and
you
as
don't
Kathy's pulling that up, like at the end of the day, if you're excited about something and you can provide that solution to somebody, they're going to get excited with you. It's kind of like if you're in a room and everybody's laughing super
contagious.
hard, you
Yeah.
don't even know why you're laughing, but their laugh is funny. Like if you're passionate about what you're doing, then they're just going to get excited with you. It's that simple because it's contagious. It's a feeling, and sales doesn't have to be so like cutthroat. And, in that relationship building aspect, that's what I call the long sell, because you want that long sell. The short sells come and go. It's going to happen. You're going to have, gains and losses. That's just business. But if you're going for that long sell, then you're going to have that consistent revenue time and time and time again. And that's how you build that growth and that wealth.
But if you don't know your why, and you
Exactly.
don't have your 5 W's of selling, what you're selling, who you're selling to, where you're selling it, when are you selling it, why are you selling it, you will not make money. Period. End of story. Your mission, your vision, your website, your lead magnets, your funnels, whatever it is that you're doing isn't going to make sense. It's just not going to make sense. So you have to have the passion and the purpose besides behind you, because why would I choose you? One of the things is I put on here what makes your offer not just good, but great. Share with your customers to connect on a deeper level and show them why they should care. You have to get into this passion and purpose. You have to see, why are people choosing you? I'm going to tell you, I made a lot of money selling office products, and I was working for a mom and pop store. Our prices were higher. We only had, 6 or 7 trucks delivering. I was competing against Office Depot, Staples at the time. Then came Amazon, and I was still making money. And it's because of my passion and my purpose to help my customers every day make sure their offices were up and running, make sure they had those paper clips and paper, toilet paper, whatever it was. I mean, I'm not
The toilet
joking, but
paper. That was
yeah.
really funny when you were sharing that story about the toilet paper,
Yeah, I mean, it's
because,
just
I mean, you could sell the toilet paper,
oh,
like, better
yeah.
than anybody else, and it was just
But
toilet
my
paper.
but my passion and my purpose, just like it is right now, is my passion and my purpose is to make sure that you as a business owner and an entrepreneur succeed. Does that mean making $10,000 a month, $10 million a year? Sure. Whatever your passion is, that's what we want you to do. But if you don't have a purpose behind the passion, then going in and selling, you've just now made you really need to go study sales skills. You really need to go and learn things and figure out what you're going to do. But if you just stop and go with the passion, the purpose, and understanding your products and services, it's going to be that simple. It's not going to feel like selling, it's going to be natural because you know your why. And hopefully that helps you a little bit in going into like really just do the 5 W's. Just do it. And you will see that selling doesn't become so selling, it becomes more and more natural. I mean, that's really the bottom line. The other thing is relationship building and closing deals. And I've got this little slide here. I'm not going to go through again all of this for the sake of time. Let me see where we're at. Yep. Importance of relationship building. Again, it all goes back to relationship building. You hear nurturing client relationships, knowing closing techniques, common closing mistakes, sales success stories, things like that. This right here bullet points all of these. And I believe this is in module 4. Let me go to module 4.
But, to the relationship building, that is probably one of my favorite aspects of things. As Kathy, you and I've worked together for a really long time, and relationship building for me is extremely important. Especially when I get to see the success of, my customers because of our relationship and because of what I'm offering. Their success is my success and vice versa. And so that is that relationship building. And that's the long sell that I was mentioning earlier, because you are keeping that retention, and they get to where you are the guru for what their needs are, and you're providing such value, and that relationship just continues to grow year over year, and they won't ever leave because they trust you, because you are providing them from the get-go, like day one, with that comfort, that trustworthy, that valueness, the relationship that you're building with them. And that goes back to the honesty and transparency. And I think that a lot of us as buyers, it doesn't matter what it is that you're buying or purchasing, we want to know that we're purchasing and from a trusted source. And so that comes down to the nitty gritty of relationship building and being that trusting
But
source.
but here's the other thing. Let's talk about this for relationships. When you have a relationship with somebody, when things go haywire or high
Mhm.
levels software just went berserk and there's a
Mhm.
bug, you have a relationship with
Mhm.
that client that they know, like, and trust you, that they're going to be like, oh, it's a bug. Okay, they're going to work on it.
Mhm.
They're not going to leave you because something bad happened. You've got this relationship. It makes it easier to handle those bad days or those bad things that come across. You know what? It's one of those days. Let me go check this out. Let me get with support. Let me do this. Let's go see what's going on. Could be, a user issue. Could be a bug. Whatever it is, you have that relationship when things go wrong. You have a bad employee, but you have a great relationship with that customer. When that employee leaves, guess what? You have that relationship with that customer where they're going to come to you and say, this employee was such and such, or yeah,
Mhm.
they left. Think of it as bad things. When you have a good relationship, it's not going to break up. It's
Exactly.
not
And
when you have a solid relationship.
exactly, and that's where the third S comes in to the 3S sales and marketing system that you have in place, is because you're
Support.
supporting that customer. So, if you have an open dialogue and open communication with the relationship you've built from day one, then when challenges happen, because they do, it happens in their businesses. So people will understand people if the communication is there and the clarity is there. hey, this is what's going on. I just want you to know I'm working hard on getting this fixed for you, and keeping them up to date and apprised of what you're doing and how this is happening. You will find that your customer base has so much more patience with you. And they're like, you know what? She's working really hard for me. I really appreciate that. And so, what could turn into something negative actually can be twisted into something positive, because they're like, wow, she's really trying to do this for me, or he's really trying to do this for me. And then that is where that relationship continues to grow. And that's where that trust happens. And so, what could be frustrating for them actually gives them patience to let you work through whatever navigational issues or challenges that you need to.
And in the course, like I said, we're going to go through more details of all this stuff, but common closing mistakes, this is really big. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of want to say this is like a lot of you guys are trying to close before you've even built that relationship. And
Mm-hmm.
there's a list of common mistakes that I have in here, but it's like you need to focus on building the relationship, and you need to focus on making sure that you have that effective, like literally really in there, effective, powerful relationship, that you're not just closing too soon or asking questions. It's That's where the sales game comes in. And the most common mistakes are you either one are trying to close too soon without being the detective, having all the questions, or two, you're trying to
Get
you
that short sell.
right, or you just the pressure. But another common mistake is not that. Is another common mistake is not creating sense of urgency. We all know that people need to buy. This special is good for a certain amount of time. We can do this until the end of the month, but next month I've got to go up on my prices. You've got to make sure that you have some kind of sense of urgency in there. And then the third one that I like to focus on the common closing mistakes is that um, where was it? I had it in here. Uh, Give me a second here. Pulling up my list here. I have a whole list of these, but
Well, the closing too, while you're doing that, the closing too soon, that I have personally seen in my sales career, working with multiple and diverse individuals, is when they have like what it's an old school term, but like the need on your forehead. You're trying to get that sale so quickly that you haven't done, like you said, Kathy, the detective work. You
you're
haven't
not
either.
you haven't
You're
checked
not
to see if
listen.
it's
You haven't
yeah, you haven't
listened.
checked to see if it's a good match. You're giving too
Mm-hmm.
much info, or you're
Mm-hmm.
skipping steps. You're not knowing their timing. You're
And
not
that
being
goes to nurturing that relationship,
right. You're
before you
you're
get to
not
that
you're
closing.
not being sure of yourself. You're forgetting other decision makers. The other thing, or is the person you're selling to the person that's going to write the check? Is the person that you're talking to is going to be the person that's going to
Mhm.
click that button to buy and sign up? Um, Not making it urgent. Two very very important things. This is the two common mistakes I want to make sure that I put on this cram session right here. One, not following up. That is why we create a 9 times follow up sequence that we put in our agency and our SaaS. 9 times to follow up. Remember, Crystal, back in the day, it was like 3 times. You could
Yeah.
you could call somebody 3 times and bam, close, the deal was done. Now
Mhm.
it's 9 times. People are busy. The information overload. Things are
Mhm.
happening. People are doing more things. You got to do it 9 times. You got to follow up. And a lot of people, you miss the sell because you don't follow up. And again, it goes back to the relationship building. When was the last time you called your friend? When was the last time you called your mom?
Mhm.
Call your mom today. Call your dad today. Whatever it is,
Mhm.
follow up, be there. And then the last one that I want to say is the number one common mistake that you guys make and that everybody makes. And that's that we get all wrapped up. We've got this great relationship. Everything's going smooth, right? We know what they need. We got their problem, but we forgot to ask them for the sell. We forgot, when do you want to sign up? And I see that all the time. I'm like, well, what are you waiting for? I remember, gosh, I would have these like, ah, I did a lot of sales training, and I have these salespeople going like, what are you waiting for? I'd say, well, how's it going with this account? How's it going with this account? They would tell me, well, what are you waiting for? Have you asked them? Are they ready to buy? Did you ask them? So not asking for the sell is the other one. Okay, so I want to give you like a really quick rundown here. Let's see. Two things I want to show you. And I want to explain this to you so that way I can leave you with some really good. Let's see what here. Yeah, I've got one more slide. To leave you with some really cool stuff. All right. So I want to share this with you. These are two sales success stories that, and there's the cat. These are two success stories that are fueled without advertising spend, that are built on customer relationships and word of mouth and referrals. Slack and Canva. Everybody's heard of them. Have you ever seen a Slack ad? Have you ever seen a Canva ad? All right, check this out. So Slack, viral growth through customer satisfaction. I'm going to read this to you. This is actually in the course. Slack, the widely used communication platform, initially grew its user base through word of mouth by delivering exceptional customer experiences. The company focused on solving a common problem in the workplace: efficient communication. By offering a solution that users loved, Slack quickly built a loyal customer base that was eager to recommend the platform to others. The company's dedication to continuous improvement based on user feedback helped it adapt and evolve to meet the changing needs of its customers, further strengthening those relationships. Slack's success story highlights the importance of creating a product that genuinely addresses customers' needs and using positive customer experience to fuel growth. That's it. It's that easy. All right, let's talk about Canva. Canva revolutions the graphic design industry. Why did they do this? Because let's go here. Canva has revolutionized the graphic design space by making design accessible to everyone, not just professionals, by understanding the challenges faced by non-designers. This is a problem we're solving. People need more templates. They need more things. They're not designers. They're not graphic people. They don't know how to create the post. Canva solved that for the non-designer, right? That's why we built everything in Canva, because we love it. We're helping the non-designer. And they offered an easy to use platform with numerous templates and tools. Canva quickly built strong relationships with its user base. The company's commitment to empower users, combined with its community building efforts like design workshops and an active online community. I get emails every week designing stuff to put into Canva. It's very cool. We're helping small business owners from Canva by building a community. There's a designer community in Canva. Let me go back over here. And building efforts like design workshops and an active online community helped Canva grow through user advocacy and referrals. The approach in building customer relationships based on empowering users and providing continuous value was or has been key to Canva's rapid growth and success in a very competitive market. Both Canva and Slack, right, together did what? They focused on solving real world problems for their users, fostering positive customer experience, building strong relationships, trust-based relationships that led to what? Extreme organic growth. So I'm just showing you that there is a sales success in two large companies that you even know about. And I hope this really does inspire you. Wrap it up. Let's talk about this real quick. Look back on your wins. I always tell everybody, look at your first customer, go to the 5 whys. Why'd they buy from you? What'd they buy, right? Look back at your wins. Keep going strong. Sometimes it can be challenging. I know every day. Stop looking at the numbers. Just put the numbers away this week and stop looking at the numbers. We're getting into the middle of February. Put your numbers away and just enjoy the rest of February. Go talk to people. Keep going strong. Sometimes it can be challenging, right? But just every time you try, you're going to get better and better. Never stop learning. We talked about that earlier. Build friendships, build real friendships. Making real connections with people is super important when you're selling something. It's not just about the deal. It's about getting to know people and helping them really fulfill their needs and solving those problems. Remember, it's about helping. When talking to customers, it's not just about selling. It's about making a positive difference for them. Keep that in mind and you guys are going to do great. You'll be able to sell. You don't have to be a sales professional. And I think that about sums it up, Crystal. I think I covered it.
I think he's slam dunk.
I did the course and like I don't know. I think we're like maybe we might be close to an hour, but I did pretty good. The course is about an hour, but I went into deeper stuff, and we'll have all of this live in the reference guides as well. Here, and we'll also put this in the CRAM session, and I'll be sure to, in fact, go to the CRAM session if you haven't registered for the CRAM session. Crystal, we'll put that link in. I'll put it in the comments after this is over. Make sure everybody does.
Do you want me to go ahead and put that out there real quick?
No, I've got to give you the course link. Well, you can do it from the website, sasprou.com, and the CRAM session. You can just share that URL.
I'll just let you do
it. In case people aren't. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll have all of the module cheat sheets for you that we created in Canva as well. So you can grab these and like I said, register for that for free. I'll get you that. And then of course in the actual sales accelerator course that we've been working on, I'm super excited about. We'll have all of this, and we've got a 5-lesson marketing, and then the rest is awesome templates. So we're excited. We got lot of stuff to help you guys. Anything you want to add, Crystal? Anything I might be missing? Or
no, I mean, like, just, I always love to leave things on a positive note because I'm that girl with the sunshine and rainbows and all the things and the passion into sales. But guys, honestly, like, it doesn't have to be complicated. The 5 W's are super crucial. And once you kind of get used to like utilizing that, it actually really, to Kathy's point, does feel a lot more natural. I mean, just think about like how you are as a buyer. It doesn't matter what it is that you're purchasing, whether it's, technology, software, a pair of shoes, golf clubs, whatever it is, think about like how you want to be treated. And that's really what it comes down to. What is the need that you are trying to do for solution? And then just having a conversation. That's really all it is. Nobody wants to be sales to, like Kathy's other original point, as a car salesman. You just want nothing wrong with car salesman. So anybody listening that's in the car industry, nothing wrong with that. But you don't want
that guy or whatever.
You don't want to be like,
hey, I could sell you something.
Yeah,
it's not that way anymore.
And keep in mind the industry that we're all in is, we are here to provide a service, and everybody is like trying to build a business in some way or another, be an entrepreneur in some way or another, use the software tools in another way as well. And then talk to, like, if you're an agency, you're talking to the B2Bs. So, I mean, keep in mind that everybody is there on that trajectory growth. And so what you're bringing to the table is going to help solve some of these problems. And, if you have passion and understanding of that, and you have that communication and ask those right questions, again, part of the 5 W's, then you're going to find that it's just talking to your friend and you want to see their success because you genuinely care. That will translate, because if you actually have that emotion and you're passionate about what you're doing, then everything is going to be perfect, and you don't need to get so bogged down on just the sales aspect of things. We all need to make money. We all need to put bread on the table, but there's the right and wrong ways of doing that. And if you really take the time to understand the why of it all, you're going to get there. And it's not complicated.
Yep, nice recap. So bottom line is, guys, you need to know your sales principles. You need to understand your principles. You need to make sure that you have a good sales mindset. And it's not what you think, right, Crystal? It's not the sales mindset. It's the building relationship mindset.
Absolutely.
Problem-solving mindset. Do the research, prep, know your software. If you're selling software, like I said, we work with business marketers and agencies. Know your stuff. What products, services, or SaaS are you offering? Know it like the back of your hand. And what's great is if you created it, you're even more passionate about it as well. Learn some of the effective sales techniques that we talk about, and just remember, continue building those relationships, and don't forget to always ask for the sell.
And final thoughts, in the famous quote of Field of Dreams, you build it, they will come.
Okay, that's software.
No, Field of Dreams is like a movie.
I'll leave you with the final
quote.
thought.
It's the famous quote. You build it, they will come.
That's true. Let me leave you with a really good final thought from Zig Ziglar. I'm going to
Okay.
leave you with a thought that goes more for the sales. He says, if you help enough people get what they want, you will get what you want. Bottom line, put that away. If you
Same
believe in karma,
difference.
go out, do it, help people, solve those problems. And like I said, don't solve the problems they're not asking you about, solve the problems that they're telling you about.
Okay, guys, you can understand that we have a lot of fun over here. So we always
Yeah,
have
we have
like,
way too much
we
fun.
have way too much fun.
So, speaking of fun, I guess we're going to get back to work. Thank y'all so much for watching, hanging out, and checking out this cram session. And like I said, we're going to just keep doing our content, getting it up on the YouTube channel, getting it into the courses. And you guys, starting next week, we'll just do live Q&A. We'll drop out. I think we'll turn it on for what, maybe 15 minutes. See if anybody has questions. They can jump in. If there's anything that we find that just quick tips, will be in and out super fast. We're going to save all of this great, wonderful content for YouTube, our online courses. And so go be sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/SAAS Pro. And we'll see you guys next week. If you guys have any questions that you want to answer, we'll be here next week.
All right, have a good week.
All right. Thank y'all.